You having car problems and you don't know why? Rodents could be the culprit. Mark VanderWerp with Rose Pest Solutions is here to help us try and avoid this from happening. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Kayla. Great to be here.
So what are some common signs we need to be aware of that can point to, potentially a rodent hiding out in your vehicle causing problems?
Sure. Well, rodents specialize in staying hidden. They're little nocturnal mammals near the bottom of the food chain. So their actually skill in life is not being detected. So it won't be anything super obvious unless the problem is well underway. But some of the things you might notice would be gnaw marks, droppings. If there's snow on the ground and you see little footprints in the snow, that certainly is a good indication that rodents are running around at night.
What if folks, I know a lot of people have to park outside, tons of people along streets, alleyways, you name it. What can these people do to avoid, a rodent infestation?
Well, if perfectly avoiding is perfectly impossible. But there's things you can do to minimize your risk, right? And one thing is just to use your vehicle. So vehicles that are most at risk are the ones that sit for a period of time without being used. So if you have a vehicle that's not being used on at least a weekly basis and it's sitting outside, that thing is highly susceptible to rodents getting into it. But also things like don't store food in your car. Things that sound fairly common sense, but let's face it, a lot of us do these things. So in a way, we're asking for it.
Well, let's say that unfortunately, maybe we even followed all the rules, but we still have these furry friends essentially attacking our vehicles. What do we do then if and when we find out this is actually happening to us?
Well, of course, I'm coming from a standpoint where it's always okay to call a professional. Before I got into the professional pest management industry, I thought, hey, you found mouse droppings, you just set out a mouse trap and you catch it and you're done. And sometimes it goes like that. But a lot of times rodents are really difficult to control, and they're really more of an area-wide problem instead of a single residence problem. So getting to the bottom of a rodent infestation can sometimes take the knowledge of a professional. But if you are a do-it-yourselfer, you can certainly start with some traps and some baits you can buy over the counter. You obviously want to be careful if there's pets or small children that might get into these things. So a little bit of common sense goes a long ways. Specifically for protecting cars, you can usually set traps underneath the hood or in the trunk or in the wheel wells where the rodents are getting in and going out. That will be pretty hidden from other non-targets, as we call them.
Mark, good stuff this morning. I appreciate your time.
You bet, Kayla. Take care. Stay safe.